Hey guys, and welcome back to another new Animal Crossing video. I'm Crossing Channel, and in today's video I'll be taking a look at 15 museum secrets and fun details. The museum in Animal Crossing New Horizons is perhaps the best museum Animal Crossing has ever had. I absolutely love this place, and there's so much attention to detail here, as well as some more obscure details that you may have missed. If you're excited for this video, be sure to leave a like to show your support, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more Animal Crossing videos. Number 1. The fossil exhibit's entrance room is actually full of neat little artifacts that you didn't donate yourself. These 4 specimens at the front can't actually be donated to the museum at all. They just start to appear as you donate some of the smaller fossils that you've dug up outside. I think these are all really cool, and it's a little mysterious how they just pop up like this. Could someone else have donated them without us knowing? Perhaps one of our villagers went on a little hunt for goodies to donate and found these, then gave them to Blathers. Either way, it helps fill out this room, which would be fairly empty without these extra contributions, and they all look pretty cool, so it's definitely a nice little thing to see. Number 2. Something that is fairly sadistic is that you can actually see the meteor that killed all of the dinosaurs if you stand on this specific spot in the dinosaur exhibit. It's of course not something you donate, but one of the special features this museum offers, with a really cool unique camera angle so you can get a full look at their impending doom. The fact that Blathers likely set this all up will give you an insight into his sense of humour, given he'd have to have taken so much time and effort to hang this heavy object above all of the unsuspecting dinosaurs. There's also a mini exhibit in this area showing off the event happening, which makes things all the more bleaker when you suddenly realise that you're surrounded by the bones of dead creatures. Number 3. The museum actually has a secret roped off door in the exhibit with all the animal silhouettes. It's unknown what this door is actually for or whether it will be used in the future, but it's certainly a cool little mystery. For a while, I've actually wondered if this little entrance could be used as an entranceway to Brewster's Cafe, but to me that seems unlikely as it's in such an odd and almost inconvenient position in the museum. This door was likely just placed here to add some nice little scenery to an otherwise empty spot. However, it does make you wonder if in the future this door could open up and actually lead somewhere else, which would be a really nice surprise. Number 4. Let's talk art. For many, the art exhibit is likely quite bare, as Red certainly isn't the easiest guy to get a hold of, but when you can donate some art, there are some really cool secret details that you might not have known about. If you donate a warrior statue to the museum, you'll find he's actually joined by his army. You can't actually donate the little ones, but they're super cool, and it's a nice little extra touch that only appears in the game once you've donated this item, meaning that many players who haven't donated this piece of art yet most likely won't have seen this cool little addition that happens when you donate it to Blathers. I really like this statue, and especially love the addition that happens upon donating it. Number 5. You can actually catch your beetles having a bit of a fight with another beetle on the large tree where all of these massive bugs reside. It's a cool little animation that kind of rewards you for catching these guys, since some of the beetles in New Horizons can be so hard to find. You'll be able to catch the loser of the fight actually flying away, and it won't return until you re-enter the room. It seems to be random each time which bugs will be paired up to fight, but the loser always seems to fly away and can fly back potentially once you've re-entered the room. I found lots of cool combinations, and I highly recommend you guys go check these out for yourself so you can see which beetles are up against each other and ultimately who comes out on top. Number 6. Take a look at this little pond exhibit which hosts bugs you've donated like the pond skater and the diving beetle. What's really interesting is that fish actually show up here to give this section a more lively and natural feeling. These aren't actually fish you've donated, just ones put in the game itself to make this area feel more alive. It definitely works for me, and it's such a peaceful little place. It'd certainly be a lot of fun to see what creatures you can actually spot amongst the reeds here. You might find yourself in for a little surprise. You can also catch these really nice koi fish in this area with dragonflies and lily pads. Overall, they've made this such a beautiful place to be, and I really love this part of the museum in particular. Big kudos to whoever designed it. Number 7. Of course, I'm going to talk about what I featured in the thumbnail, which is Nat, who makes a little cameo appearance in the lab room of the bug exhibit. His little portrait can be seen on this chart, likely explaining that he's an expert on bugs. Who knows though, maybe it's implying that at a future date Nat will actually appear here and that this lab actually belongs to him. It certainly makes sense, and it'd be a really cool way to bring back an old character who sadly is no longer in the game. An interesting note about the art you see here is that it's actually his amiibo card art. This means that they sadly did not create a new render of artwork for Nat, which they have done for many other characters, but instead chose to use some of the older art. Number 8. Hilariously, the lab actually has a little fly swatter right behind where you can find your flies. It seems very likely this is a little nod to the fact that Blathers absolutely hates bugs and would likely do whatever necessary to get rid of them, so definitely don't put it past him to try and swat these if they ever escape from that tank. Though this little lab is full of intriguing details, this is definitely the best one for me. Number 9. If you move your camera angle just the right way, you can actually spot a bug that's off screen here in this part of the lab. It's unknown if this bug is actually supposed to be there or whether it's just an asset left over, but it's certainly intriguing, perhaps one of the absolute best secrets that the museum has to offer. What do you guys think about this hidden creature, and why do you think it's in such an obscure spot? Number 10. This ant exhibit actually hosts tons of really tiny, hard to see ants. Much easier to see are the larger ants who are off in their little bubble, likely plotting something straight out of the Ants movie. All of these little ants can be found moving in interesting and unique ways, so I recommend taking a look at what they get up to. Number 11. Like any safe museum, this one is actually full of fire exhibits. They of course don't actually lead anywhere, so if there is a fire in the museum, unfortunately it seems like you're stuck. However, it's pretty cool for them to add a realistic little touch like this across the museum, making it feel closer to a real life museum that you could actually visit. Hopefully we won't experience a fire anytime soon in Animal Crossing. Number 12. This little poster you can see here is actually showing off a Horseshoe Crab, which is a creature that you'll have to dive for in order to find. It was added in with the diving update in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and this cute little poster is just showing it off and showing off its stinger at the end of its tail. I really like these little posters, and you can actually find quite a few of these scattered around the museum, so I highly recommend taking a look out for any that you can find. Number 13. If you donate a Piranha to the museum and go to visit it in its tank, you'll find that it actually tries to go for you. This little fella isn't messing around and will go right up to the glass in an attempt to bite you. Thankfully, it's stuck in this tank, so you can live another day knowing that your skin is safe, at least until this thing becomes sentient and learns how to grow legs and catch you outside of the water, where you really won't be safe. Thankfully, this seems unlikely for the time being. Number 14. If you stand in this particular spot in the Deep Sea Creatures exhibit, you'll get a new camera angle as the game is encouraging you to take a photo op with this diver and the submarine. You can see this by the little sign indicating a camera and the Nook phone too, so if you're looking for some nice photos in the museum, this could be a really cool place to do that. Number 15. Looking behind this exhibit, you can actually see the surrounding area is some kind of really nice peaceful forest. However, since this doesn't line up at all with where the museum actually is on my island, it seems likely that this is just some kind of screen designed to make the room look prettier. The main room of the museum also has some leaves falling outside the glass windows, but of course this doesn't really work for many islands who have their museums placed in really odd locations. Either way, it looks super pretty, and you don't really get to see this backdrop too often because of how the camera is angled by default. I really hope you guys enjoyed checking out these 15 cool secrets and small details about the museum. I really love this place. It's just such a magical place to go, and I feel like it definitely gets underappreciated sometimes, perhaps by those of us who have been playing the game for a really long time. So I recommend going in there and just soaking in all of the goodness of this museum, especially if by now you've donated a lot of bugs and fish to it. It'll just look so great. I'd love for you to tell me in the comment section down below what your favorite exhibit in this museum is, and I'll catch you guys in another video soon. I want to give a big thanks to the channel members for supporting the content I make here. If you want to become a channel member and get a whole bunch of cool perks, click the join button down below the video or click the link in the description to learn more. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like to show your support. You can also subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to turn on channel notifications to get notified when I put up new videos.